amazing podcast.
I was going to say, wow, it was deep.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and look outside. We do have the marine layer still lurking in many areas south of Point Conception. Just a hint of a northwesterly wind has helped to sort of gouge out the marine layer just a bit for the portions of the south coast. But you can see whenever you see that much marine layer still lingering around at this hour, you know that the onshore flow is definitely king. And boy, look at the temperatures, 70s at best. Really not a horrible day by any measure, but still a little on the cool side, especially for our inland areas. Paso Robles, it's not every day in mid-September that you're only 76 degrees. Pismo 68. Also, that's also equally surprising, being that close to your neighbors in Paso Robles as far as temperatures. And currently seeing a lot of 60s, a few 70s out there, and just really a quiet day. And there's the wind, not a whole strong at all, any stretch of the imagination, as far as, say, a northwest wind that might kick up to around 35 or so when we get a wind advisory. But it is just enough to maybe give you some sunshine for some of the coastal areas, but not a lot. And the humidity value, of course, drops off right there, but then it rapidly picks up again for much of the coastline as we again are seeing a really strong onshore flow pushing well across the coastal plains and even into some of the valleys. Now, speaking of that, we also have an area just to our north up here, which of course is where Hurricane Lee is dealing with, and I'll show you that in just a second. Right now, though, the low for us, big area of low pressure right here, and then another area of low pressure just off the coast right here. That is the one that we're keeping the onshore flow, the one that's expected to sort of ride down the coast and ride over the top of it. That will sort of just increase the onshore flow as we head toward the middle of the week. Maybe even some drizzle will pop up as we head toward about Wednesday morning. Any morning actually over the next couple of days could see some light drizzle, but maybe more so as we head toward Wednesday and Thursday. And then of course we have to look beyond. Well, high pressure should sneak back in by about maybe Thursday, Friday. We transition Saturday to fall 2023, and we say goodbye to summer, and it looks like maybe we'll have a bit more of the crisp, sunnier weather that we sometimes get in fall. There is Nigel right there. There is the remnants of Lee. The Atlantic really cooking right now. It looks like they hopefully will be quiet after that, after Nigel, and Nigel should stay offshore, so that's the good news for the eastern seaboard. As far as us, we still have our active ITCZ, that's the Intertropical Convergence Zone. Next system looks to possibly develop, only about a 60% chance right now, maybe 40 to 60% chance. Somewhere right about where I have potential written right there, there's a chance of some circulation, and that could be the next system, again, over the next few days. Wind the next couple of days, really not a problem, although that might help to keep some decent sunny weather for portions of maybe Goleta back out toward Point Conception, whereas other beach coastal communities and areas may not see any clearing at all over the next few days. And again, the wind over the next few days, we'll see that little northwest bump right there and possibly getting close to 30 miles an hour, sort of socked in for the most part. Look at this as we look toward tonight. Some of the fog getting into the really far interior coastal valleys and even beyond that. It's amazing to see how far it's going in right now. It looks almost like May, June. And then as we go to Monday, again, some clearing along the Gaviota coast. Same thing as we go to Tuesday. So really, if you love this weather, you're going to love the forecast, at least for the next few days, as we don't see big changes. Mild to cool temperatures, again, as we go toward tomorrow. This map sometimes doesn't give us the exact details of what we're looking for because it's trying to deal with the inland and the coastal areas, but it does show you the trends. And look at that, just maybe a couple of 80s the next couple of days, and a lot of 50s and 60s for the overnights, and just a lot of 70s and 60s for afternoon highs. So we're sort of below normal, especially the farther inland you go, where we should see a lot of 80s. All right, there's your 60s and 70s for tomorrow's. It looks like more 70s along the south coast than 60s. Up west and north of Point Conception, same story there. The beaches on the cool to mild side. Inland areas nice. Look at Cuyama, only 80 degrees. That is really just absolutely stellar. Same thing with Paso Robles, but the beaches, again, a lot of sweaters out there around Morro Bay where you're only expected to get up to the very, very low 60s. Same story as we go from El Rio, a 70, Port Hueneme, a 70, only a 76 for Ojai. So that shows you, again, the inland area is not very warm. Our surf less report right now should pick up out of the west-northwest as we go toward the middle of the week. And there's your 7-day forecast, and really no big shocks to the system as we go through the weeks. Some slight warming, high pressure developing, digging its heels in just a bit more as we go toward the weekend. And that means we should dry out a bit and lose the marine layer just enough to get more sunshine and some slight warming again as we head toward the official start of fall, which will be next weekend. We'll be right back.